Chat, 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 chat. Chat, 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 chat. Chat, 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 chat. Yo. Chat, 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 chat. All right, we are doing podcast tonight. Ba 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 ba. I don't remember what the podcast is about tonight, but that's what we're doing. In fact, that reminds me. Let me go ahead and pull up the podcast content. Da, 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 da. All right. All right. I guess that we are going to go ahead and get the podcast started. Um, I'm trying to find. See, I know Skyhawk sent me like a whole thing of like all the different topics for today's episode, but I can't find them. It wasn't. Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah, it was good. How do I do this? Damn.
Hey, tell Redox if I ever see him in my chat, he's done for.
Get fucked, bozo.
If I ever see him in my chat, it's over.
My microphone was too far away.
It's on
You were
site.
you're such a bozo, bro.
It's on site.
I like how Sonny constantly just makes himself the target by like this doesn't happen to anybody else. It's just Sonny.
I think there's actually a word for it. If I pulled out my thesaurus, I think the word would be bullying. I'm not
Oh
sure.
wait,
Wait,
is
Not sure if I could,
okay? My
not
mic's
sure
working.
if
For a
wait,
second
wait,
there, I was like, "Don't tell me my mic isn't working again."
Wait, Skyhawk, what's the word for it?
I think the word is bullying. I think we bully him a little bit.
Yeah, just a little
I
bit.
do be getting bullied.
Just a smidge.
Was Sonny an only child? I don't know. Were you an only
That's
child? Sonny?
crazy. I'm the third.
Oh, he's the youngest child. It's the same thing.
I didn't say I was the youngest. I said I was the third.
Ah, he's the youngest.
I'm tied for oldest. I'm a twin actually. So I have a twin brother. We're both giants. But he has a lot less meat on his bones than I do. I'm like
He's lankier.
I'm like 6'5", 230. He's like 6'3", 145.
Did you say 6'3", 145?
Dude is a twig. It's crazy. Yeah. He's it's funny too cuz I have big feet. I'm like I'm size 13. and he is almost basically my height, and he's size 8.
Yo, is that better, chat?
It's like I can turn myself up too. Actually, I turned myself down because I was.
Oh,
recording.
okay. Okay.
By the
so,
way,
okay, so you are quieter
This
than
is
normal.
no. This was my fault. I should sound a much louder now. In theory.
Okay.
By the way,
Yeah, you do on my end too.
Trish, I was
Okay,
the youngest of 3.
Oh.
Yeah, you got him.
I'm weird because like I have a brother, but he's like a half brother. So like we both like I have a brother, but we both grew up as only childs. Cause like
Yeah,
there's quite a big age gap between us.
Got it.
I understand.
That makes sense. Yeah.
All right, boys. I am ready to begin the podcast after I. Where's that doc you sent, Skyhawk? I don't want to miss sponsors.
I clicked start recording. It's pinned, so you don't have to look for it anywhere. You can just click the
It's
pins.
the
Counterpoint.
it says,
I just
Sunny,
scrolled until I found it.
Attention,
Little
Sunny.
push pin.
Please do not forget a sponsor this episode. Big bold letters, flashing lights, like Sunny, right here.
I actually, to be fair, I can't argue. I think the first episode the one episode we did without him, I couldn't remember the names of one of Sunny's locals, so I can't say I'm bulletproof here.
Oh,
my
I'm
apologies.
throwing stones in the glassest of houses. I don't know who any of the sponsors are.
I would love to
have
see
no
you do our
clue.
sponsor
To
reads
be
without
fair.
a single note.
I'll remember Gem Accessories. That's the only ones that I'm
true,
gonna remember.
actually.
That's
That's
the one
fair,
that Sunny
that's fair.
somehow always forgets, and we had him on.
Yeah, that was.
To be fair, I didn't forget the episode that he was on. That was the first one I said.
You almost did.
You almost did.
It was so funny. If you forgot it, I was gonna lose my shit. I was gonna lose it so hard.
But I did.
I
and
might have
that's
to
the
go back
important thing.
and. All right, I'm recording on my side, so Sunny, whenever you feel like.
Let me just
you
make
wanna
sure. Let me switch.
hit the intro button.
scenes.
I'm on Twitch, by the way.
Okay.
Just by the way.
True. I see.
right. All right.
Just-
3.
Just by the way.
2,
Just so you know,
Just by the way.
I got you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into today's episode of the Top Cut Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcast. Of course, before we get too far in, I want to take just a moment to go ahead and thank all of our wonderful sponsors. So a huge thank you to Steelfox Games as well as ETB Games. Those are my 2 locals near me here in central Louisiana. Of course, we also want to thank Gem Tech Accessories, Chainlink TCG, Dragon Shield Tier 0, and Grimoire Accessories. And also be sure to check out our TCG Player affiliate link in the description down below. Of course, we want to thank all of our wonderful patrons for their continued support of the podcast. On the announcement side for our sponsors, Tier 0 games with code TOPCUT5, anything over 50 pounds British, which is like $65 US, you get free international shipping. And today the Maze of Memories set goes on full release, so be sure to check that out.
I do have a quick interjection in regards
Sure.
to sponsors. I didn't mention this last time, but Chainlink TCG actually did send me a few things, which is very funny considering I'm not playing anymore. But
Which we're gonna
I
get to
have
in a
some of
moment.
I have some of the
Ooh.
DFL Star sleeves, and the Field Center is actually gorgeous. The back of it has like a fire PD thing on it for the
Oh,
Rescue
that's
Ace Fire
nice.
Department. They're really pretty, and they're actually pretty, like, they're not very expensive either. So if you want like a metal Field Center,
I should
this is
check the
good. And I
PO box because he said he was gonna send me some stuff, and I know he sent it
sure-
to the PO box, and I just haven't looked.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure this art is also from Vincent Graphic Art, who is like one of the best Yu-Gi-Oh artists on Twitter ever. Please go follow.
True.
They made a couple months back. They made Elblich holding a bunch of the Fluffles, and it's the best thing I've seen in my life.
So cute.
It was adorable. I'm a big fan. I love the way that they did. They got like the beady eyes of the dog right. Anyway.
Well, if
can
you're a
continue, Sonny.
fan
I
of
just felt like
those
I needed
field
to
centers
introduce
that I'm sure you saw live on our YouTube channel while we were watching this, or while we were recording this, or live on twitch.tv/TrishulaTTV while we're recording this, if you were in either of those places and saw those and liked them, be sure to check them out on the Chainlink website. There's a link in the description down below. Top Cut 5 for 5% off. So,
Thank you for being specific.
yes.
Very good.
We have a lot to cover. Obviously, I'm here with my 2 co-hosts, Giant Skyhawk and TrishulaTTV. How are you doing this evening, boys?
I have a headache. I've been
That's
playing a lot of
understandable.
Vanadium.
I understand.
Okay, can we talk about, just off the top before we do anything else? Can we talk about so last night when I checked in on Trisha's stream, at one
Sure.
point you had like a 40-2 win rate, and your 2 losses were both to Dark Magician. Do we want to discuss this? The one time I tuned in was the second loss, and you were just like staring down 2 Magician's Rod. They were trying to attack over a
Oh, no,
set
no, I won that
Manaudium.
game. I won that game.
It was-
I won that game.
You won that game?
Yeah.
I
won
missed
that
the end
game.
of it. How did you win that game?
I don't remember, to be perfectly honest.
I will go
I
check
think I
'cause
just
wanna
kept
know.
setting monsters, and yeah, I think I set a Meek, which has 1800
Yes,
defense, and Magician's
that's the
Rod
Meek.
had 1600, and I just like just kept drawing until I drew like visas or something.
Insane.
But yeah, we started out 40-0 on this account. So for the listeners who don't know my like Twitch content, I do a lot of like fresh account to Master 1 climbs. And
Always good stuff.
the current one that I'm doing is Manadium. And we got our new highest win streak overall, which was 40-0 undefeated. And then I lost to Dark Magician because I did not know that I could lose to Imperm if I had visas and Reamheart in hand. Because it didn't track for me that Reamheart's a light warrior, the same as visas. So I got Impermed, and
Ooh.
then my opponent, Raigeki'd me, of course, and then summoned Dark Magician, and then summoned Dark Magician Girl and punched me, and my hand was just a brick, so I just got punched twice. But
Yeah.
this run has been special because up until Master 5, so all the way from Rookie to Master 5, we lost less than 10 times. I think it was like 70 something and 9 by the time we hit Master 5, and then as soon as we hit Master 5, we started losing a ton. And
Wow.
for like the past 4 hours, I've
Has
been
it
stuck in
has it
Master.
been your experience that like in a lot of these ladder climb games where you get to a certain point and then it just like your win rates goes down to like 51, 52%?
Yes. Yeah, I don't think Yu-Gi-Oh even becomes real on Master Duel until you hit Master. Like I don't even think you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh until you hit Master 5. So we've hit a bit of a wall. We're at like 57% win rate in Master. But it was like 90 before that, so it's doing okay.
Listen, that still
it
sounds
the-
like you're winning more than you're losing to me, which feels like the plan.
So I guess we can use
Sure.
this.
We'll go with
We
that.
can use this to transition into the one thing that we want to talk about is the Master Duel meta. Have you now run into the super heavy Samurai Menace? What's the impact of Samurai on the
Yeah,
Master Duel?
Skyhawk implied that it was going to be tier 0, but I don't know.
It's not.
It
I
is
don't know if it's quite
no
there.
longer seeing much play at all.
That is
so,
fascinating.
So,
What-
so this
what
is something that I
happened?
was. This was expected. Like I was saying this for weeks
Interesting.
before these cards came out. Is that the deck is just not that good because Max C is in the game. You normal summon Soul Piercer, you get Max Seed. The only card you can have is Ash. You lose.
true.
So losing, twice as often to Max C than every other deck in the game does not feel good. Also, everybody's running Droll and Lockbird, which you also cannot play through. So the deck kind of folds to that stuff. Where I think the deck is positioned right now is it is still a good deck, simply because it plays enough hand traps to deal with the other super heavies. But we've encountered so few super heavies on this climb. It's really weird. We've actually played more Manadium mirrors than we have super heavy,
Have you played more
and
Dark
Manadium
Magician?
is like not seen that often.
Well, I guess if we're playing like a Wombo combo deck, Manadium and Super Heavy are like ending on a pretty similar board.
Yeah.
And then Manadium just gets to play Called by the Grave and Crossout if you really want to. So I guess that makes sense actually. Interesting.
Yeah, exactly. The one other trend that I've noticed today is I've been Dark Rulered like 7 times today, and I have never in my life seen Dark Ruler on Master Duel ladder
It's
before. So.
best of one, right? Because if you draw it going first, it literally doesn't do anything.
Mhm.
but if people are that scared of Super Heavy that they're main decking Dark Ruler, then
Yeah.
Is
there's
there a
gotta be
world
something to it.
where if a deck is that dominant on the ladder, you can just choose going second and basically just be pre-sided?
I mean, you could, but why would you?
like, blind second is you. Yeah,
It's never
in
good.
best of
It-
one.
it's
like, you can
objectively
always
wong to
win,
blind
but,
second
like,
in Yu-Gi-Oh.
It's like
In most Yu-Gi-Oh, I would agree with you. I think there's an argument to be made in a best of one format like this.
I think the
Maxi's legal.
decks are still strong going first, and Maxi is a huge problem because going second is already at a huge disadvantage because Maxi into Nibiru exists. So if your deck
Sure.
can OTK under Nibiru, then sure, but it's a lot of like. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a lot of like top level Master Duo decks are like playing stuff they can draw off of Maxi to stop themselves from dying, whether that's a nib. So like you have to
You
be
would
able to play
think
through
that.
an entire board but a nib or something like a droll. I don't know.
You would think that, but what's weirdly the case is that Master Duel players just cut those cards.
Just, nope.
Yeah,
We don't
because
need them.
it's weird. A lot of people cut those cards. I don't think it's correct. Like I play Nib all the time, but it's very strange to me that a lot of people cut it, and like people will just take maxi challenges all the time. But here's like the bottom line summary is you do not want to get max seed and have your opponent have the ability to negate your negate, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Like if a maxi is played, you want to be able to call by it, cross out it, ash it, whatever. And you don't want your opponent to have like a Baron or something to negate those cards. Secondly, if your out is an Ash Blossom, what happens if you're playing against Despia, which is very popular right now? And they go Branded Fusion, you Ash it, and then that they pass turn, you draw for turn, they max see you, and it's like, oh, I just used my Ash on the Branded Fusion. So there's not really much merit to blinding second. A lot of times the blind second decks too, like there's only a few decks that they can be. Typically, like Makonko is like the popular one right now.
Mm-hmm.
You're always at risk of your opponent just hard passing to you.
Yeah.
And then just having hand traps. So if you are playing a deck like that, that can sometimes like be an issue as well.
Yeah,
and
listen, I'm not
A
gonna
lot of the
sit
blind
here.
second decks are hit too.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm not gonna sit
you're
here
more
and
on the
pretend that
terraforming.
blind second is just like the wave, right? I just wonder if being able to main deck cards like Dark Ruler or Lightning Storm, Droplet, or whatever your blind second card of choice is, I just wonder if there's a discussion to be had about it. I think it's
Dark Ruler-
totally fair that
I think
it's not the wave. I get that. I just think it's an interesting discussion to have.
I think the Dark Ruler specifically is very bad against Maxi because your opponent will be able to use the card advantage they accrue against you. It's a guarantee
Sure.
at that point. Something like if you're gonna play a breaker, something like Droplet is probably better.
Yeah.
Where
Oh,
it's something you
100%.
can set going first. So, but I imagine there will be a meta game in the future where maybe everybody is like, no, actually, we do have to be playing Dark Ruler. This is
No,
ridiculous.
but that's the
I don't
metagame that
know.
we're in. Like people are playing the
People are
Dark
like,
Rulers right
more
now,
Dark
Which is
Ruler,
crazy.
which is
yeah.
crazy.
I wonder
Which is just crazy.
does Monadium start playing the counter trap, or does that get really bad in a best of one? Like,
I really hope that Quanel does not listen to this podcast. He's been hanging out in my chat watching me play the deck. Right? And every single time he's in chat, people start asking, should we play Sprite Elf? Should we play Chaos Angel? What about like Ice Jade Jameer? What about reframing? And he like I can feel
just
through the
goes
screen
off.
that
No.
his blood vessels are popping. Like I can feel it.
That definitely seems like a Quantal thing, yeah.
Good.
So
Oh man.
I do want to. We have a few other topics that we're going to discuss, but I know what chat is going to be thinking, what our listeners are going to be thinking about, what our listeners want to hear about, which is that Skyhawk, you made an announcement earlier this week. And
Is it an announcement? Is that the word we're using?
the what?
An announcement. Is it?
Yeah,
sure.
Announcement.
Yeah,
I have
let's go.
something to say.
Let's go. Let's
He
go.
definitely
with that,
had
yeah.
things to say.
That's true.
You put out about a 15-minute video on your personal channel, the title of which is something along the lines of "I'm quitting Paper Yu-Gi-Oh."
Yeah, those are the first 4 words.
Yeah, and it has gone a bit to be a bit more than that. Right now, I think as of right now, you're basically taking a complete step back from everything Yu-Gi-Oh related. And I don't really need a whole full explanation on that, but I was wondering if you could just give the listener base that maybe didn't watch that whole video and is hearing this for the first time, kind of just a very, very small amount of background, very small.
Shout outs
And
to
yeah,
shout outs to all the people who live on Spotify and just don't have Twitter installed. I haven't had Twitter installed for like 3 days. Best decision I've ever made.
yeah.
So shout outs to the Spotify onlys who might be hearing this for the first time. But yeah, you can go watch my video if you want some more context on
We
that.
will link it.
I am genuinely surprised by the amount of reach that it had. I was expecting it to be like very small, but I think it's like the third most viewed video on my channel. Aside from like a couple of Fluffle guides that I have up. Shout outs to Mega Capital G. I guess I became the Keemstar Discourse of the week, which was not necessarily the intention, but there were definitely a couple of videos. Yeah, so I guess for me, the price thing has gotten a little out of hand. I've taken a step back and looked at everything and a lot of decisions that I've made. And I think the best thing for me is to just step away from Yu-Gi-Oh! As a whole. If you need to find me, then I will still be on Discord. I'll still be in the Top Cut Podcast Discord. I'll check in on Twitter like once a week, I guess. And I don't know what my future is online from there, which is kind of why the end of the video is what it was. Because giving up Yu-Gi-Oh! Is also giving up a lot of your social circle, right? So I think there was a little bit of confusion about like, why is this like an emotional thing for you? It has very little to do with the price of cardboard. I'm angry about that, but I'm not like to the point of tears about that, right? The thing that's sad for me is what changes in my social circle and what changes with who I feel like I can have a conversation with. So for me, that's kind of what I've been grappling with. But in terms of me, podcast, I probably won't be doing Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff for very much longer, but I'm not going to leave Sunny hanging until he decides what he wants to do with the rest of it. So hopefully that is enough of an explanation for you. But
Absolutely.
you got anything else?
Yeah. So as of right now, for any listeners, Skyhawk will be taking a step back from the podcast in the next
Step
soon.
back. A big thank
In
you.
the next soon.
Yeah.
Oh 07. Can I send?
07 was-
I'll send the Neshio 07
Yeah.
emote. That's my
So-
favorite one. There we go.
As of right now, Skyhawk has put in his 2 weeks notice, more or less. And
That's exactly what this is.
right.
You're so right about that. Yep.
I'm not entirely sure where we're going from here podcast wise. We went through one host change when Caleb retired due to burnout and the price of the game. And now with Skyhawk leaving, I don't know. I want to make sure that the podcast is what I want it to be, as well as a product that everyone is happy with, including myself. And I'm not entirely sure what the future of the podcast is at the moment. I'll probably have something more concrete next episode. So be on the lookout for that. But what I can say is... Do what?
Sorry, you go for it. Finish what you wanted to say.
What I can say
Well
is
done.
that I will be moving to streaming pretty regularly on Twitch, mostly in the evenings. So be on the lookout for that. We can kind of move back to the podcast episode, but I didn't want to wait till the very, 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 very end to say something about it because
Cool.
not everybody stays till the end. So, and I
Fair
wanted
enough.
to give our listeners a heads up.
All right. So now that we've got the sappy stuff out of the way, I'm here for discourse. If I'm only here for a little bit longer, I want to talk about. If I'm only here for a little bit, I need Yu-Gi-Oh! Discourse. Okay.
Good news. We have plenty.
Exactly. This doesn't need to be like sad. Like this is not a funeral. Like
Yeah, we're cooking.
I'm a big proponent of like the party when we
We're
die
cooking.
type stuff.
We are
Listen,
cooking with
I
that.
grew up in
The
New Orleans.
Cinco de
I
Mayo
feel that.
mindset.
We have literal parties at funerals. I get it.
All right.
So let's make it
So-
fun. Let's go.
Discourse time. What do we think? So the TCG news, I guess, of the week is that we got the reveals for the 2-player starter set.
Sure.
How do we feel about that as a product? I don't know how much people
I
have
like
looked
it.
into it here. Do we think it's a good way to get people in.
What was the new product?
The 2-player starter deck. It is 2 starter
That's-
decks
Well, that
with a
answers my question.
scripted duel.
Honestly,
What is the
like
new product?
I forgot that was coming out because they announced it so long ago.
And then they
Like,
delayed
I
it for
have
like 3
thought that
months.
Yeah, it's been delayed a few times, and like
Yeah.
there's been multiple times where I was like, "Oh, has that not come out yet?" And I'm like
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
around, it's like, "Wait, that didn't come out yet? Like, when is it coming out?"
I'll send a link to the
Yes,
the
please.
set list here.
Can I start the discourse because I feel like I have the hot take here.
I'm listening.
Sure.
Bring it,
I think
bring it,
it's
bring it,
cool.
bring it,
I like it.
bring it in.
I like it.
I
a lot,
agree.
actually.
I think it's a great product.
Yeah.
I had to have my mind changed about it, but I do think after thinking about it a little bit, it's much better than I gave it credit for.
yeah.
It's the because my reaction to like the actual my only gripe with this, I think, is that I wish the card pool was like a little bit more modern. I think the vanillas are maybe a little bit overstated, and I think it would be cool to have a few more useful cards in here, because really there are probably like 6 or 7 cards in the whole set that I think you could see played at locals. Like Galaxy Cyclone is at like the edge of shows up sometimes, but I think the interactions in like the scripted duel are really good. There's one that I think DZ mentioned in his video where they're like, your monster was used as Xyz material, so Call of the Haunted will stay on the field, and then you can use Eldritch the Golden Lord to send that Call of the Haunted. It's like giving people an example of how to get value out of all of your cards, and also teaching them like a complicated rules interaction. If they're capable of doing that in a scripted duel, that is huge, because that's the stuff that I think trips people up when they go to locals for the first few times.
And I would also like to say, this isn't. Let's not get confused. This is not a structure deck. This is a starter deck, and it's 2 of them. And
Yep.
I'll say 2 starter decks at $30 instead of the usual like 10 or 12 on the higher side, but they had to put extra time into like coming up with the scripted duel and things like that. They had to put somebody on the issue of when they look at the deck and it says, remove this card, and the top card you should see is back to the front, which means to flip it back over. That's hilarious to me. But I think that there's good cards here for what it is. Yeah, it's funny. I liked it. I mean, to get cards in a starter deck like Divine Arsenal, AA Zeus, Sky Thunder is good. Eldritch the Golden Lord is good. There are cards worth having here. Even Coral Dragon is a good card to have.
Coral Dragon is actually a good reprint, importantly. That card
Yeah.
was expensive for
And
no
there's
reason.
a lot of
That card was
reprints.
expensive.
That card, it's been like $6 to $10 for the last like 3 years. It only has 2 very old printings.
Yes, and one of
like
them's
actually
like a
Aw.
gold rare.
Because
money
that card
for
was
no
a
reason.
dollar forever.
It was, yeah. 'Cause it had the one reprint it got was cheap for a while, but then it got expensive again.
There's
I remember
also
because I had to
a
pick one up for
boatload.
Synchro Dino and it was expensive.
Yeah, there's also a
Honestly.
boatload of Edison staples in here.
That's true.
Yeah, cards like Cyber
That is a good
Dragon,
point.
Call of the Haunted, MST, Trade In, Book of Moon, even Needle Sealing at one point was like a $4 card. I mean,
Yeah.
personally, I think that this is a good set that does a lot of good things. I don't think you're off base at all, Trish, by saying it's good. I think for what it is, it's perfect. And somebody else mentioned the interaction of like the last turn that you have Swords of Revealing light up. It's another card that you can send for Eldritch. Things like that, like little things like that, matter in this context. And I think this
I
is a
will
great
say-
product for new players.
The one thing that I'm confused about, so the Synchro deck has Ojama Green,
Hmm.
and the Xyz deck has Ojama Yellow. Where's Ojama Black?
It's in
What-
the
happened?
it's in the booster set coming out.
True.
Ah,
There we go. The lore continues.
I see.
One thing,
It's actually got a
interesting you
Chase
mentioned
ulti in that set. It's crazy.
Yeah, like it's interesting that you mentioned the Ojamas because I saw some people like on Twitter talking about it. It's like, oh, why are they giving us Ojamas? Like that's so stupid. I actually think that's fantastic. And I think the vanillas are actually like really cool because those are cards that were like mascots during like the GX era. Like these are recognizable cards that like maybe you'll remember, but like also if you're trying to get into Yu-Gi-Oh, you want to have familiarity with the cards that like people know.
Yeah.
You know, like because we're like old heads, right? Like we grew up with this stuff. But if I bought this, you know, like I'm thinking like say I had a kid, right? Or like maybe Sonny, you're a better example. If you bought
Sure.
this for your kid, you know, like you would want them to be familiar with the cards that you have familiarity with. It's like a bonding thing, right?
Yeah.
And I think it makes sense to me that these these starter decks don't have a ton of like good cards, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because if you've ever tried to teach somebody Yu-Gi-Oh from like absolute zero, it is a nightmare. Like,
Yes,
and like the
undoubtedly.
thing that I've always told people
Yeah.
is play GOAT format, and then like as you go, like start introducing them to new formats and eras of Yu-Gi-Oh, because that's just the only way to learn it is you need the progression of like knowledge.
I have tried to teach someone, and even starting at GOAT format, you really need to start at the starter decks Yugi Kaiba Reloaded, because if you start at GOAT format, there is still a certain amount of like, wait, why did you summon that guy? Well, I banished the light in the dark and I could summon him. So wait, can like,
Yeah, true.
you know, can I do X, Y, or Z with the summon? No, because it's like the summon doesn't start a chain. Like even that,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, literally.
As the new place to start, I think this is very good. I
Yeah.
would love personally if they follow. Imagine if they followed this up with like an Edison era, like we're putting two Edison decks against each other, and here's a scripted duel with those cards.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
that would be something like, I think it take this and make like an intermediate set that introduces a few more complicated interactions, but also has a scripted duel. And this set, I think, once you have the hang of it, playing the duels with like these two decks of cards is going to be kind of a little bit wonky. Somebody's going to open Golden Lord and somebody's going to open Ojama Yellow. But the other cool thing about this is that it sets a cap on the price of Zeus like forever.
Yes.
Because it's just like available in a set product now, which is nice.
Now, I will say, this set does do one weird thing in one weird format that nobody plays, but it's funny, which is that it puts Zeus, or not Zeus, it puts Golden Lord into common charity format.
Yeah. This set that just destroys the common charity.
Yeah, it really
Did
messes with
anybody
common charity.
really play common charity
Yes.
format outside the first week?
So there's like
a
very
really
small,
dedicated, super small
on
community.
Discord. The problem with the format is that Lunalight has been the best deck for like 2 years, and just nothing has been better than Lunalight. So everybody gave up on lapping it because there's nothing else to play. It's it was like for a week people were like, "Hey, Tenji's really good."
I remember that.
and
That was
that's
the
it.
1 week that I played.
Yep, and then it kind of disappeared. But Eldritch the Golden Lord is like the strongest card ever printed at common.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's generically, it's just so
In a
insane.
common only format, right? Like
In a common only format, yes. In a common only format, correct. Yeah.
You want to know
They're-
what would be a
they're
cool
a strong-
product?
they're a strong
This is just coming to me in my head. Like this is kind of a diversion, but you want to know what would be a cool product?
Welcome to Shark Tank. Pitch us the product.
I love
All
this.
right, so here's the idea, right? So we got these scripted duels. We already have a format for this. We're already starting products where it's like 2 decks, right?
Mhm.
You want to go through the eras of Yu-Gi-Oh and you want to learn the history.
Sure.
So what if we did history of Yu-Gi-Oh, where they take actual decks that were played at like forever ago, like during Edison format as like YCS finals, and then you can go and you can play that, but it comes with a little scripted duel, like a little, they like animate it and they're like teaching you the lore, like the history of Yu-Gi-Oh
so
itself.
We combine like because Pokemon does something similar
Exact-
to that.
Yeah,
Where they have
Except
like
we're-
championship decks, right?
We're going to do what Pokemon didn't do. We're going to make these cards legal.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh,
But the Pokemon World Championship decks, they're not actually legal for tournament play. You can't use them.
Yeah.
They're just like replicas, which
Yeah.
sucks. But yeah, no, I totally agree with that. So we'd have to change the name. Shout outs to SEMO. If you want 5% off of your singles and sealed product, you can use code SEMO5. But
I will say,
wait,
I love the
Unbelievable.
concept. I've pitched the concept of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Time Wizard time capsule several times where you
Time
take.
capsule. Damn, that's good.
There we go.
Yeah, I've pitched that
Time
product
Wizard.
on this
So we got
podcast
Time
no
Wizard.
less
Would
than
these be,
half
like,
a dozen
1,000
times.
dragons? Is this the 1,000 dragon like product?
I'm telling you,
Oh,
I've literally pitched this product at least half a dozen times on this podcast as take a retro format like Edison, like Hat, like Goat, anything like that, and take the 2 best decks or two good decks from that format that have good interplay and have good interactions, and release like a 2-player structure deck thing for each Time Wizard format. But I mean, you could take your idea and make it like a scripted duel of the actual finals as they happen. That would be super sick.
Literally, like, because I feel like there were some really crazy finals out there that like could make good scripted duels. You know, not the ones obviously where like back in the day, like somebody was just like, I will max see you. And it's like, oh, okay, I'll pass.
Low key,
Max
maxi reprint would go kind of
Max
hard.
Seed again in game 2.
I opened Rescue Rabbit and 4 trap cards. Here's
Actually,
a
it would have been
scripted duel.
5, but it would have been 5 back then.
No,
They started
Rescue
with-
Rabbit 4
the
traps
Drew
and Max C.
I always forget. Oh my god.
Yeah, they changed that.
I'm so old.
It's so hard going back to retro formats because I'll like hand loop myself for 1. I'm like, oh right, I was supposed to have 6 cards. Why am I neg 1? Oh, that's why I didn't draw for turn.
Yeah.
I will say, if we're no, Sunny, I've taken up airtime. You go first. I do have something funny to say after though.
No, I feel like you should be.
I just
able
said
to take up
yeah.
airtime.
Go ahead.
Like,
That's
you're
true.
leaving
Actually.
a podcast.
No, you're
for,
right.
like-
Yeah, that's true.
Like, take your airtime.
Yeah.
My Yu-Gi-Oh flex is that I think I am the only person to have ever topped a tournament with Time Wizard of Tomorrow in my extra deck. So I
remember that.
I am the Time Wizard.
I literally remember watching that video to figure out why you played it.
That's all I wanted to say. For those who don't know, the interaction is very funny. I'm going to use my knowledge while I have it. So
Do it.
Time Wizard of Tomorrow. What's funny is in the video I actually get the set that it's from wrong, which proves like how nobody read it. It was, and I didn't come up with this. This was somebody on the Dino Discord who came up with it one day just randomly. The idea is it's essentially the same as Dark Hole, as an instant fusion target. So if you opened like Lost World Baby and Instant Fusion off of your Prosperity or something, you could go activate the Lost World, normal summon Baby, give your opponent a token, Instant Fusion for the Time Wizard effect to blow up all the monsters on the field. You flip a coin, but the coin only determines who takes the damage from the monsters that get blown up. It doesn't, it always blows up the monsters. So then you would protect the token with Lost World and destroy the Baby on the field, and you'd get Chainlink 1 Baby, Chainlink 2 Baby, which meant that you still got your full combo through Ash anywhere.
Amazing.
So that was why you played Time Wizard
in graveyard.
If they ash the Misk, then you still have Overraptor pop Baby, summon Baby, special summon Archosaur. Archosaur pop the Baby, add double evolution pill, special summon Giant Rex. You'd go link the Arco into Link Rebo, link Giant Rex, and the Link Rebo into Verte. Pill for the Giant Rex for UCT, overlay for the Dolka, and then Verte would send the Red Eyes Fusion for Dragoon. So played around the Ash on the Misk whenever you wanted to, which was very funny.
And also, he
I
still
did it to Hanko Chow, but I lost that game.
Hanko Chow, who was here in chat like 20 minutes ago, probably still is.
Yeah. I did. Hanko Chow was the only person I actually resolved Time Wizard on, and I lost the game. So
Nice.
maybe it wasn't a good decision, but it was in my deck list, so screw you. Okay, Sunny, you go ahead. That's all I wanted to say.
I love doing that. I think that same era was when I played Dragon Link with Skullmeister, because I remember my Dragon Link deck that I won my prize card with had Skullmeisters in it, and I remember sitting there thinking that it was like the dumbest decision I ever made because it never came up. I was just constantly sitting with Skullmeister in my head. I was like, why did I put this in my deck? I did not play against a single Drytron.
I remember we were all terrified about that. That was, God, what a weird time. What a weird format we were all in with COVID. I was going back through, so like, as I'm getting ready to sell all my stuff and keep track of everything, I've been going through all of my like archives of like screenshots and messages and lists and everything.
Right.
I found, I completely forgot that I wrote a 32-page guide on how to play the Synchro Dinosaur deck. It's still pinned in the Dino Discord to this day. You just have to like scroll back up a little ways.
Oh my God.
And I forgot just how much, I put into things during the COVID time, just because there was nothing else for us to do.
True.
There's a bunch of, so we figured out how to do the Calamity Lock with Misk Baby, but you had to, it took all 15 cards in your extra deck.
Oh. I was like, you can Calamity Lock, and then you said 15 cards in extra deck. I'm like,
this was back in the, yeah. No. It took like 12 bricks. We had to play we had to do a Alimbertian line for Rescue Ferret with Saryuja to summon from deck Omni Dragon Brotor, Recover, and Naturia Strawberry.
That's the most Skyhawk combo I've ever heard in my entire life.
Oh,
Oh, Trish is
Trisha's
gone.
Trishula is dead.
His whole stream died.
Oh no. Well, while Trishula's stream Trisha's stream died because the combo that I was describing was simply too powerful.
Indeed.
Yeah, the other thing that you had to do was Paralysis the Purple Pyro Tile. It's a level 2 synchro in Shadow Specters, and all it does is when it's sent to the graveyard, it reduces all of your opponent's monsters by 500 attack. So, if you activate Black Garden and you give your opponent 5 monsters, they now have 5 tokens with 800 attack. So when you reduce all of their attack by 500, the total attack of those monsters becomes 1500. That is then enough to use Black Garden to destroy all of the monsters that now have a total of 1500 attack to revive Halqifibrax. And that's how you got the Halqifibrax back on the field to summon Formula Synchron to do the Calamity Lock.
That's insane.
Outback and I spent like 2 days trying to figure out how to do it.
He's back.
Okay.
Yeah, we figured.
I can hear you.
I can hear you. Your
Yeah,
my
so,
combo.
so I'm joining back in on my phone. My whole computer just crashed mid-sentence.
Oof.
My combo was simply too powerful. All
Yeah, I mean,
good.
you literally calamity locked my computer out of it.
Skyhawk's parting gift to the podcast:
well,
calamity locking
do you need
Trish's
to-
computer.
Do you need to jump out and take some time to get that sorted?
Yeah, here's what I'll do. I will continue on from my phone if
Okay.
the audio quality is
Yeah.
not terrible, and I
It's-
will
fine.
rejoin from my computer
No.
once it reboots.
It works great. We probably only have another 15 minutes or so.
Well, you know,
That works.
while we're here in this 15 minutes, I'll offer you boys the choice.
Okay.
Do we want to cover the topics that we had planned? Which we're doing this live. The topics we had planned was talking about Yubel support and the one Sinful Spoils card that's really crazy, and like the new Fishborg Blaster and some vanilla retrains, right? New cards.
There's the Time Wizard 3v3. There's that.
I'm sorry.
There's the Time Wizard 3v3.
The Time Wizard 3v3 we can touch on.
Yeah.
But
Listen, I'm still vigilant about the news. Come
yeah. My question is, do we want to cover new cards or do we want to cover the discourse around pricing? Because it has been the predominant topic in the community, although I can understand if we're all tired of it by now.
I think to be honest, I think we covered most of. I feel like we would just be having the same conversation over again. We covered a lot of it with Brandon, honestly, like Gem.
Yeah.
So unless you have something specific that you want to add, then it would be kind of fun to just do a regular episode. But if you feel like there's something that you do really want to add about it, then we can do that for sure. Up to you.
No, we were just kind of like in conversation with Brandon about it last week, and I just wanted to. I didn't know if you had anything else you wanted to add since all this has happened. Since you've taken your step back and everything, I didn't know if there was anything else you wanted to add that you maybe hadn't talked about before then, or
No,
if there's any more
I'd say,
discussion to be had there.
delete twitter.com. But
Yeah.
do just open like Trishula TTV's Twitter from time to time. Somebody did send me a link that send me a link that said that you replied to some double sleeving discourse. I will reveal this live on the air. That tweet is complete bait.
Wait, was did I fall for a bait tweet?
I know the person who posted it. It was a bit. You've been punked.
You got God. I
Whoa,
appreciate
whoa,
all
whoa,
of
what's
I
the
appreciate
bait?
all of
I didn't
Trish's viewers that
understand
came
that.
here when his computer died.
This is Ryder is baiting everybody. It's a funny day.
But
Anyway.
I don't understand the joke. What was the joke?
I don't think it was a joke. They just wanted to start discourse, so it wasn't like a real post.
I didn't even see what the tweet was.
I mean, like,
Is
I'll
there-
have the conversation because, like, it's
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that conversation. Like, I thought that it was like
No, they're explicit goal.
I thought it was like a like a troll, like a bad post. Like, was it just like it's
They've done this.
fine?
They've done this before.
What was the post?
It was so they do this every now and then. It's like it's the goal is just to start discourse. So the sleeves post is a post that happened last year. And so they're just they just
what's the
they just wanted to restart it again.
Gotcha.
The bit is that
why don't we just share with the listeners what the bit is, like what the post was, because we can just have the discourse, because it
this is funny actually. So I believe I have to pull it up from the other place because I did not because I don't have Twitter installed. I have to pull it from the link that they sent.
Here, I'll find my own.
Yeah. If you can find the link. And
my computer is unexploded, so
Woo!
It's unexploded. Very good.
Yeah,
That's ideal. Uh-oh, we have Twitch back.
see.
I'm still not in chat because I'm banned because I asked for it, but we got Twitch back too.
Okay, here's the tweet. I do not, all caps, understand people who single sleeve their cards. Are you worried about dirt or moisture warping? I don't know. Cards are expensive. I personally wouldn't play my deck in singles.
Oh,
yeah.
This individual
I just responded
likes
because like I hear this comment like a lot, like unironically. I was just like, I don't know, dude. Like I like to be able to shuffle my cards in like ways that do not hurt my hands.
Yeah. Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
I tried after like Vancouver. I tried doing double sleeving, and I really do not like inner sleeves. Outer sleeves I can handle. Inners are like, it's so hard to actually get the card in the sleeve without like damaging the card.
This is how it feels to shuffle double sleeved cards.
It feels like top loaders, like it's just straight up. It feels like I'm shuffling top loaders. It feels like I should not be shuffling these cards. Yeah. And what's crazy is like for a long time I was like a proponent of double sleeves. Like I wanted like double sleeves in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because they weren't allowed for very many years.
True.
And then as soon as we got them, I was like, oh, I hate this.
Yeah. The second we got them, we all agreed, wait a minute, this sucks. We all used them for 2 weeks, and then we all said, wait a minute, this is awful.
I'm gonna shuffle some top loaders too.
That's what I was just doing. Yeah, that's what I was just doing.
Although I have a. No, you go ahead, Trish. I got something else after.
Oh, the only thing that I was gonna say is like I double sleeve my extra deck though, because like usually what I'll do with my extra decks is I'll just like find like some cool sleeves to just sleeve it in, and then I'll just like put an oversleeve over it and just be like here, look at. But it's not to protect the cards; it's to protect the sleeves. Because I feel so sad. There was this really cool pack of sleeves that I had years ago that was like a super rare OCG sleeve. It's rare in OCG too. Yeah. And it's a pack. It's Solemn Judgment. It's the picture of the old man saying no, and it's like a purple sleeve, and it has the picture on it. It's super, super cool. I had a full pack of them. But because we weren't allowed to double sleeve, those sleeves got destroyed. Because I used them all the time for my extra deck for years. Those sleeves got destroyed. It is like $100 for a pack of those sleeves now.
Yeah.
It's like 40 for 15 of them.
The thing that convinced me to do it with the extra deck was actually I won so I have like the Master Duel hoodie, and then I have a bunch of the Master Duel sleeves, and I've got like the Exodia desk mat, but it's not because I was invited to a tournament. You played against Tom Box at this one. At the at the first anniversary one, I was one of the 5 people that won the giveaway.
I was wondering how you had it.
I won it.
You had it and Zara had it. I'm like, how did you guys get that hoodie?
I won it through they did like there was like a prize pack giveaway. You just did exclamation mark. I won it after Shiggy's match, which is very funny.
Yeah.
Because I'm one of Shiggy's mods. So it's what happens when Shiggy's goes 3-0. It's a sweep.
Things just work out for you.
That was the funniest set of Yu-Gi-Oh games I think I have ever been adjacent to in my entire life, because no one told Dododoya that was a team event. So he showed up with Gambler Turbo and like was normal summoning like Lucky Gambler, and then Shiggy's was like Reveal Circular. I was like, there's no way.
Dude got update jammer access coded for his life savings
3 times in a row.
Incredible.
It was so funny. It was just so
here's
funny.
speaking of top loaders, here's some discourse. I just had them in. How do we feel about these? I don't know if you've had any cards sent in these before. This is it's a cardboard top loader called a shipping shield.
I'm fine with this.
I've not actually.
I've gotten them. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I think it's not quite, I think, as good as like a plastic top loader, but if I'm thinking about it from like how bendable they are, it seems like it's about the same. So they weren't damaged when they were in there. I've only had one card sent to me damaged before, and it's very sad because it was a very good one. I ordered a Nouvelles core because my twin brother plays Nouvelles, so I wanted to pick it up and learn it. And they had a collector's rare field spell for like $20. I was like, yeah, that's awesome. I think I gave it to him, but the regular ultras that I ordered came fine, but they had the collector at the front of the shipping shield, and so the inside of the sleeve, the shipping shield top of it scraped against like the inside of the collector's rare, so there's like this huge weird like foil line coming across like the edge of it. So I got a refund for it, but I was very sad.
You want to know?
I wanted a collector's rare restaurant.
Oh. You want to know what my favorite way to receive cards has been?
Mm-hmm.
It's when I get cards from Europe, and it's just a stack of commons, and in the center of the stack is the card that you ordered. And it's in like damaged cardboard that's been like scotch taped like 5 times. It's just a big stack of commons. I've gotten so many random like foreign commons this way. Like I got a Light and Darkness dragon once too, like a old super Light and Darkness dragon that way in German or something like that. I was like, this is broken. This is cool. Like I can put this in a legacy deck.
Yeah, there's a retailer in Canada that ships stuff out that will usually like put them between like Magic cards. One time I got like a bunch of Force of Will commons, which was very funny to look at. And then one time I actually got some like Chaotix. I was like, you're getting rid of these.
Chaotic, yo, Chaotix.
Yeah, we're cooking with those. I was like, I've never had these. So I totally forgot that franchise.
I've had the worst luck with TCG shipping. I started an entire community discourse about a month and a half ago when I ordered some Edison cards, and they arrived all kinds of ways. I got an ulti in just a sleeve in an envelope. Nothing else. Just a sleeve in an envelope. And they were like, good enough. Couldn't believe it. What?
I didn't say anything. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry that happened to you.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nightmare. Almost every package I got was packed so badly. Almost every package I got. So, which might just be because when I sell things on TCG Player, I go like overboard just so that I don't get like complaints and refund requests and stuff. But holy moly, I cannot stand it when things just like it takes very little effort to just like pack your cards properly. I don't know.
Okay, actually, I do have one more piece of discourse.
Okay, I'm here for it.
Before I sign off, I do have one point that I want to make. This may be like a little tiny bit unhinged. I have a video about it. So I think Mathmix Circular is Fusion Destiny.
What?
So
that's a sentence.
Mathmix Circular is banned because it's Verte Anaconda. It's Fusion Destiny. So, hear me out. But it is for rank 4 decks. It's just instead of making DPE or Dragoon, it's IP Superfactorial. So if you open Circular and you want to play Superfactorial and Sigma and Diameter in your deck, you can just make Alan Bershon do the line, right? But you can do that if you make any rank 4 to search Circular. So that I wish that more decks experimented with playing a Mathmech package in their deck. Like, when the Crystal Beast list topped the South America one, they weren't actually using it as Fusion Destiny with the Mathmech package. All they were doing was using it to draw cards with Disciple to fix their hand. That sucks. People should have been using it as Fusion Destiny. And that's why it's banned. And that's the last thing I want to say about Yu-Gi-Oh!
I will chime in that Sword Soul of Mo Yi is actually just Engage.
True. Sure. And Rocket Tracer's Pot of Prosperity.
It is Engage. It's a search and a draw. You're not wrong about that. It is actually, that's true. Tracer is prosperity. You're correct about that 100%.
Trish doesn't like where this has gone.
That's
Now
how
he
far
wants to
can we-
quit the
My
podcast.
my brain, yeah, like my brain is fried. I don't know if it's like the increasing migraine that I've had like growing
sorry.
since playing Vanadium all day, or if it's this discussion. But like everything is just so much brighter, and my head hurts.
Well,
my
that means that it's
apologies. I'm not
time
being very
to.
helpful about that.
That means it's time to
Time to
thank
wrap
all of
this
our
up.
wonderful patrons for their continued support of the Top Cut Yu-Gi-Oh podcast. So, a huge thank you to. Get ready. You ready, Trish?
No.
Always second.
No, I am not.
Are the people who raise chickens also considered chicken tenders? Look at his eyes. Look at his eyes darting back and forth while he contemplates this question.
That's a new one.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Zyphorus, Ding Dongs, hostess of the Yang Zing, HGH Cyber, Jed McCain Speed, John Lil, Magispector Toad, Obama, Oatmeal Spaghetti, Owen Alvarado, Pistol Plays Pendulums, Silver Hope, Skyhawk Over the Beatles, Understanding and Reading are two different things, Virtually Savior's World, Visa Star Frosting D's Nuts, Aaron Gardner, Alexander Chan, Asami, Ashlish Taps, Etsuyo, Simba the Silver Castle, Blackwing Silver, and the Ascendant is the best Floodgate, Blue Eyes is best, Copium, Boxwine, Dragon, Maidenless Behavior, Ice Jade will win as a YCS before Swoosoo, I'm about to Rika, Glamour Tree, across these plant nuts in your mouth, Little Sneaky, Maxi Pack, number C107 is better than access code, Old Man Red, pin code 143, Runic did nothing wrong, Sinful Soils, Sunny's Internet Gremlin, and the existence of a Terratop implies there is also a joyful bottom. Thank you all so much for your continued support of the podcast.
That's one of the best ones of all time. I think I do got to give a.
It gets me every time.
Yeah.
It just gets me every
Dragon
time.
Maidenless Behavior has been an all-timer for me for
It's
the last
been-
year and a half.
Been there the whole time. Number C107 being better than access code is a new level of absurd to me. I have to. If you posted that, if that's your Patreon name, message me. I have to know why you. I need.
Can we just talk about how somebody snuck in Runic did nothing wrong? Like
Yeah.
Sunny just glossed over it.
I mean,
Sunny,
it's
Sunny
right.
Is a known runic. Sunny is a known runic apologist. Do you know
I am.
this?
All right, I'm.
I don't want to hear it. It's coming from the Dragon Link one trick. I don't want to hear it.
I don't have a card pun for today's episode. But I do have something.
Dude,
do
you
have
can't
something
do
for you.
this. You can't not have a card pun on the Sunset Ride. Come on, dude.
Well, okay. Stall for a minute for me. I'll come up with something. I'm flipping through my Staples binder.
All right,
So-
let's talk about why Dragon Link is the best deck ever created. Let's
Right after
start
we
with
talk about
Rocket
why
Tracer.
Sword Soul has
It's
an engage
red.
built in.
It's a bullet, and then when my opponent max sees me, I can use Rocket Tracer on myself. So very powerful card.
Are you gonna play the Magic Cylinders like cylinder, where it like is like a gun?
Is
I
it a
feel like-
gun?
Yeah, there's a card where Magic Cylinder is a bullet in a chamber of a gun. It's like Magic Cylinder cylinders or something like that.
Oh my god, I have seen that
Wait,
because I think
got
that
it.
card is actually a reskin of a Rocket card. Like low key,
I think it
they
is.
actually
Yeah,
just
that's
took
why
a
I'm
Rocket
saying,
art,
can
mirrored
you
it,
work
and then
this
just put
into a
Magic Cylinder in
Can
it.
you work that into a Master One deck? Can you make this happen?
I could, but I don't want to.
I'm just
So,
saying.
We're talking about cylinders, right? Cylinders are like vaguely in
no.
the shape of a circle. Could anyone tell me? Do you think you could tell me the radius of the circle that's inside of magical cylinders?
Don't do it.
The
Don't do it.
brachio radius.
Well, thank you everybody for tuning in
You
to
were
today's
expecting
episode
that
of the
to be
Top Cut
circular.
Yu-Gi-Oh podcast. This is Sunny signing
I
off.
was.
Have a good evening.
I can tell you the diameter.
I looked at the circulars and I thought I'm better than this. So I'm not gonna do it.
You can't say that, Trish. Diameter's banned.
It's at one.
Oh, it's limited? I thought it was banned. Okay, well, that's the end of the
one.
podcast. I'm going to
Yeah.
go run
I
to the
am-
restroom, and chat, you're going to be here when I get
I
back,
also
so that way we can
FP.
play some video games.
Yeah,
Bye.
I'm gonna hop out of the. I'm gonna go do the editing dungeon. Thanks very much for
miss you.
sticking around. Thanks for listening.
I miss you.
Bye bye.
Oh, okay, chat. I am back. I don't know about you, but I'm not done with the podcast, or I'm not done with content tonight. I want more content. Chat, do we want more content? It's only 11 o'clock. I have time. Let's see what Trish is saying now.
Related to that, it's just like that. I think that's just an issue with this computer. You can check it, bro. I am not.
All right, have a good stream, Trish. All right. We are gaming, ladies and gentlemen. So we have a couple of different options. We can either do some gaming in the form of Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, or I'm sure I could maybe convince Skyhawk to do another level or few on Portal 2, or I could do some React Andy content. We could try to learn the current advanced format. Tons of options. So, chat, it is up to you. I want to know what you want to do, chat. Because I am not ready to be done streaming. In fact, I'm even going to share the link to the stream. That way I am committed to keeping it going. Actually, I take it back. Chat, I love you. Before I send that tweet, I'm going to actually end this stream here on Twitter, and we are going to move over, or here on YouTube, and we are going to move over to twitch.tv/Sunny Top Cut Podcast, I think is the Twitch. We're going to move over there, and we're going to start playing some video games over there. So I look forward to seeing you all over there, and I'll see you in a minute. Bye.